In today's episode, we'll be learning how to connect with the green personality. So, we'll learn how to identify greens and how to speak to greens in the green language. To connect fast and quick, we need to identify the personality type of the person that you're talking to. There's generally about 4 types: the red, the green, the yellow, and the blue. Today we're talking about the green personality type. What motivates a green personality? What makes a green? And how do you form a relationship quickly and effectively with a green personality? That's what we're going to talk about today, starting right now. So what is the core motivation of a green? Well, their core motivation is peace. They want everything to be calm, in line, no fighting, no disagreements. They want everything to be smooth. They need their own space and they need to move at their own pace. Don't push greens. Greens need to be respected and feel good inside. This has a lot to do with you limiting the amount of friction they have to go through to get where you both want to go. You need to be the buffer for the green. You need to absorb all the friction. If there's dismay or discord, leave them out of it. You go try to solve it the best you can without them. The less you involve greens in confrontation, the better off you'll be. So what do greens want? Greens want to withhold their insecurities. They also want contentment and kindness. They want everything calm, easy, agreeable. And last but not least, they want to be independent. They may not be independent, but they want to be perceived as independent because they perceive themselves as independent. So make them feel independent, whether they are or they aren't. So what makes a green a green? Well, greens see things objectively and clearly. And they are a person who will listen without judgment. Greens are adaptable and calm under pressure. You don't want to get a green riled up. Once a green gets riled up, the answer is no to everything and probably your deal is dead. You got to keep them calm and everything smooth. And it has to feel natural. Greens also accept diversity and always make other people feel comfortable. No matter what their culture, no matter where they're from, no matter what the situation, they always make people feel comfortable. Greens are good people to be around. You just need to make sure you don't get them into the fray. Above all, greens are kind. Now, before we get to how to form a relationship with a green personality, let's take a little time here and pause and ask yourself this question, please. Do you really like what we're doing here? And is it worthy of sharing out there to the other people in the world who don't even know we exist? If the answer to those 2 questions are yes, then please hit that like button, go ahead and smash that share button, and let the world know what we're up to. There is a lot of people that need this kind of content, could really use this content. They just don't know we exist. So please hit the like and share button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. So as we close out this segment, let's talk about how do you form a strong and effective relationship with a green personality, and how do you do it quickly? The number 1 thing is be kind to them. Number 2, let's keep everything smooth and make every situation just feel like it's naturally happening. You want to be logical, clear, and firm with greens. You may even have to take the assumptive with them. Just move in as like, of course we're going to sign these papers now. Don't worry, don't ask. Just move the papers, hand them the pen, and take the assumptive. Assume they're going to close. Assume they're going to sign. Assume they're going to say yes. There'll be times you'll have to provide some boundaries. Don't let them get out of bounds. But you have to do this with patience and above all, be gentle. You'll also need to be simple. Dumb everything down. Break it into its easiest and simplest components. You'll also want to be open and open to their individuality. Don't be too formal with greens. Be casual, informal, and relaxed. Your ability to listen with greens will go a long way, but you're going to have to watch for some non-verbal clues. Watch their body language. Greens don't always say what they're thinking. You got to watch what their body's telling you. And if you have a choice between what they're saying and what their body language is saying, choose the body language over their physical words. I guess the most important thing to me to emphasize about greens is don't get them involved in conflict. If you're dealing with a buyer or a seller or a title agent and you need to go confront them about something, don't even explain to the green what the conflict is, what the problem is, and that you're going to go handle it. Just go handle it. Don't even let them be privy to the fact that there's a bump in the road somewhere or that there's a rough spot. Just handle it. Only tell greens about the friction or the rough spot or the bump in the road when you have to. 9 times out of 10, you can handle all this stuff by yourself. I once had an investor that was green. This investor would loan me money. He was a private money lender for me. And I knew he was green. And one day, the house that he loaned me money on burned down the night on the day that I bought it. So I went to the foreclosure, I bought it with this private lender's money, and that night, the people that were getting foreclosed on burned the house down. I didn't have time to get insurance. I bought the house. I was going to get insurance the next day. House burned down that night. I didn't even tell my green private lender about it because it would have freaked him out. Even though I was going to pay for it, I was going to handle it, I wasn't going to make his problems or my mistake his problem. I owed the man the money, cut and dried. And so I did just that. I didn't tell him anything until years later. One day he said, "Mitch, have you ever had any problems?" I said, "Yeah, I've had plenty of problems." He said, "You never seem like you have any problems. Like, has any of your houses ever burned down or anything?" And I said, "Yeah, I've had a house burned down. One of my houses was a house that you loaned me money on." And he, true to a green, freaked out. "One of my houses burned down? Which one? Which one?" I said, No, Doc. It was like 10 years ago. Calm down. Don't worry. He goes, "I had a house burned down 10 years ago?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, what happened? What happened? How come you didn't tell me?" I said, "Well, it was none of your business. You know, your business was to loan money and get paid. That's where your business starts and that's where your business ends." And it's a good thing I didn't tell the poor doctor about the house burning down, because even though everything was going to work out fine for him, he would have freaked out. And he may have even stopped loaning me money in the future because of that stress, even though it was unwarranted stress. So the doctor says, "So you lost money on that house?" I said, "Look, I don't remember which house it was because it was so long ago, but I do remember I had paid $38,000 for the house." And the doc said, "So you lost $38,000?" I said, "No, I sold the lot without the house for $25,000 and I owner financed it. So I really only lost about $13,000, of which I just took my lumps, Doc. I wrote a check and I paid you off when it was time to pay you off. Yeah, I lost $13,000 that month, but I had other good things happen that month." So remember, keep greens out of the difficult conversations or the ugly conversations when at all possible. All right, this concludes our episode and the discussion of how to connect with the green personality. For those of y'all who have stuck around, I would like to reward you with a free chapter from my book, My Life in 1,000 Houses, Failing Forward to Financial Freedom. In this chapter called The Moat Theory, M-O-A-T, like a moat around a castle, in this chapter, I will show you how I put together a path that included failure as part of the plan. The goal was, how do I go forward with failure as part of the plan, but not go under, not sink and drown and die? So that's what the moat theory is all about. So to get that chapter, all you have to do is go to 1000houses.com/moat, M-O-A-T, or click on this link right here and it'll take you there directly. I'd like to thank all of y'all for joining in, and I'd love for you to follow me right on over to the next episode.